Good evening and thank you for staying with Citizen TV. I am Ann Kiguta. Welcome to Citizen Extra as we continue to track for you the county primaries taking place across the country. In studio, I will be joined by analyst Michael Agwanda very shortly as we discuss the happenings across the country. But first, we want to bring you up to speed with the very latest results that we have. We have final results for you today from Bomet County, where Joyce Laboso will be taking the Jubilee ticket and leading the party in the race for the gubernatorial seat, having clinched 115,289 votes against her closest competitor, who had 72,546 votes. In Baringo, Stanley Kiptifis has been declared the winner of the gubernatorial race with 65,589 votes, beating Chaboy by who has 21,388 votes. In Migori, there is confusion in that particular race where two candidates who are running for the ODM gubernatorial seat both have certificates from the party. Both Okofa Bado and Ochilo Oyako are holding certificates, and we're waiting on word from ODM as to how they are going to handle this confusion regarding who the bona fide winner of that Migori race is. You will, of course, remember that this is a poll that has been marred with incidents of violence. Want to move on now to Kirinyaga, where we are sure that there will at least be two new members of parliament come the August 8th election. In the constituency race there for the Jubilee Party ticket, India, George Kariuki won that particular nomination. In Kirinyaga, the Kirinyaga Central, the MP, the incumbent, is running for the gubernatorial race, and we'll give you his results shortly. And Gashoki Gitare, therefore, is on a different race, but John Wambugu has won that particular race for the Kirinyaga Central Jubilee Party ticket seat. Now to the Kirinyaga gubernatorial race, where Ann Waigoro in 3 out of 4 constituencies is in the lead with 47,846 votes. Gashoki Gitare, who, as I mentioned earlier, was the Kirinyaga Central MP and now is vying for the gubernatorial seat, is challenging her with 38,353 votes. Joseph Ndavi, the incumbent, trailing with 9,645 votes. We want to move on now to constituency races, where we've just heard from the Jubilee Party with final results in Marquette East, where William Kipsang will take the Jubilee Party ticket with 10,587 votes. Samuel Chibi followed him closely with 6,736 votes. On to KO South now, where Daniel Rono Kipkoske will be on the Jubilee Party ticket with 14,450 votes, followed closely by Gideon Kimayo, who has 11,354. Remember, these are final results that we've heard announced shortly from the Jubilee Party headquarters in Sotik. Dominic Koske has 9,790 votes to take that ticket, and in Nandi Hills, the incumbent Alfred Keter will be defending his seat on a Jubilee Party ticket with 19,389 votes, followed by Emmanuel Talam, who garnered 5,767 votes. So that's the latest that we have in terms of final results from across the counties and constituencies that took part in nominations today. Mercy Kandia is in Uasin Gishu County. She has, of course, been following races there, and she spoke to aspirants a little earlier. Let's listen to what they had to say.
Citizen TV is live in Uasin Gishu County as the nominations, the Jubilee primaries kick off here. A few hiccups in the morning when the ballot papers were confused in some of the counties, sub-counties for Ainabkoi and even Tarbo constituency. But however, joining us on set is one of the aspirants for the governor's position. He's called Buzeki in the region. What is seen to be a fierce race between the current governor, Jackson Mandago. I've seen you've come in style with your bicycle. How has the day been? How has it voting been so far?
I think the day has been good, albeit a very slow start. We've just started voting in this polling station at around midday. obviously would have wished to start earlier on. We had people who were in this polling station as early as 5 o'clock in the morning. I would imagine these are logistical constraints, but I want to thank the people of Ainabkoi and particularly from Marap Moi polling station. I think they have been patient enough. And we just hope that every person who will come within the premises of this polling station will be given an opportunity to conduct their democratic right of voting for whoever leader they wish to elect this time around. Yeah.
Some of the aspirants within Uasin Gishu are claiming that probably the hiccups they connected to allegations of rigging. Do you still believe that despite the hiccups, it could be a free and fair nomination process?
I think as somebody who is an expert in logistics, I know these kind of logistics constraints can happen. But by and large, I think the issue of late delivery of ballot papers and or rather the commencement of the voting exercise, I think the worst constituency that has been affected most is Ainabkoi constituency, because in places like Monyaka even that are very close to Eldoret town, they started voting at almost at 11 o'clock and they have a huge number of registered voters. So if there was anybody who would have made that kind of complaint, it would be me, given that Ainabkoi is my constituency, probably my stronghold. But I still want to watch the process as it goes. So far, I would say it's still free and fair. And for as long as they extend the voting hours, then that can compensate for the late start in the morning. So I think, as a responsible leader, I just want to impress upon the party to be able to ensure that they are considerate enough, which I know they will, to ensure that everybody gets an opportunity to vote today.
Some of your voters are watching you right here, and those at home, what would be your message even as you wind up this interview?
I think my message would be today is a big day for every Jubilee member to be able to nominate whoever leader they want of the different cadres who will represent you in the general election, national election that is going to be in August. So this is part of the process. But in our Jubilee Strong Zone, we know very well that if you're lucky to come out today, which we are very optimistic as the Ainabkoi and Buzeki team.
We're interrupting that report to take you live to ODM, where a press conference is being addressed by Agnes Zani. Let's listen in and then we'll continue.
As we have, so that we get to the end of this exercise as we have planned to, and we're very sure that we'll get to that point. And I want to let the National Elections Board chairperson also to make some remarks and press statement. Honorable Chair.
The National Elections Board wishes to first of all applaud all our members and aspirants for carrying themselves with decorum during the exercise that we have so far held in different counties across the country. In spite of the areas where we had hitches, the board was able to discharge its duties and diligently and with satisfaction to many. The job is not yet over. We know there is still a lot ahead of us. We have a few remaining counties in terms of repeats, and we expect that by the end of this week we'll be able to have done the repeats that are in the areas that were affected. We have had to adjust our timetable for the repeats, and we hereby now announce that all the repeats that were scheduled for tomorrow have now been rescheduled to Friday 28th, and the areas affected are as follows: Shinyalu constituency, South Mogirango constituency, Nakuru Town West constituency, Ibeno and Birongo wards in Nyaribari Chache constituencies, St. Monica polling station, Noongo Pir Primary School, Sholinge Primary School in Kitengela and Sholinge wards in Kajedo, Gombato, Bongwe ward in Msambweni, Tezo ward in Kilifi, and 19 polling stations in 6 wards in Mombasa County. Those are the ones that are going to have repeats on Friday. In Taita Taveta County, the Central Committee today approved the decision of the National Elections Board to call off the repeats that we had earlier had asked for in 4 polling stations. The board has determined this matter by calling off that particular exercise. The board is committed to ensure free and fair nominations And we appeal to all members to be peaceful. We appeal to all of them to come out and submit their disputes before the county dispute resolution board, and where it is desirable, then they appeal to the appeals board that is already sitting. So our members are asked to appeal to those particular boards. Finally, we wish to announce, because we are just about to conclude our nominations, that we are going to do things differently. The certificates shall be issued by the NEB commissioners within the next 1 week, but they will be issued at the counties. So we are appealing to our people, those who have won in this particular exercise, please await the NEB commissioners in your counties, because the certificates are going to be issued within the next 1 week for the winners. Of course, we are starting with those that started, and we will follow up with the ones that lately just concluded the exercise. Thank you.
Kiswahili kidogo tu ni kwamba kamati imefanya uamuzi ambayo umeelezwa hapa, lakini kitu muhimu ambayo tunataka tuseme ni kwamba National Election Board ya ODM inafanya mikakati yote kuona kwamba imedeliver nomination ya haki na huru. Ndio maana uamuzi umefanya kurudiwa maeneo tofauti. Lakini nataka nigusie hii Nairobi. We want to assure the residents of Nairobi that we shall do all that we can to deliver a credible nomination. Na also warn the candidates that anybody seen in any way to participate in violence or any other election malpractice, may assure you will not hesitate to take action against you. What we want to see is a free and fair process. We have spoken to the leadership of Nairobi. My brother Governor Kidero is here. We want to work with all of you, and we appreciate the support that is accorded to us by Governor 047. But most importantly is that we must hold nominations that can stand the tests of the moment. And therefore, anybody imagining that they will use unorthodox means to get to victory, let me assure you, the same way action is being taken elsewhere, Nairobi, the same shall apply. So, to leave to on Sunday, you mobilize your people to peacefully come out and participate to nominate the preferred candidate, ya wananchi, sio ya viongozi. I want to also assure you that we have no preference on any candidates. The governor and I have had a conversation also. We don't want to choose for the people of Nairobi. We want to give the Nairobi people an opportunity to elect their preferred leadership. So that is where we are today. And we also are aware that there is some investigation that has been initiated for what happened here in Nairobi in early morning of today, so that whoever did what they did yesterday must be held to account and brought to book. So we're working with the different agencies, but more importantly, our party members are helping us to establish what really transpired, so that we don't see a repeat. Tusonge mbele tukiwa na a level playing field for every candidate. I think that's where we are. The excess of force. I'll leave that question to the National Election Board. But I want to say something that is of great concern to us. Tumeona what have been happening in Migori County and Homa Bay County. Because wafuasi have taken to the streets to express their displeasure, understandably so, because of what has transpired. But our greatest concern is the excessive use of force by the police. We are aware that there are some of the young people have been shot. Live bullets have been used. And therefore, we are watching very keenly. Na tunaambia polisi watunge. The treatment ambayo is applied elsewhere should not be done selectively. If they supervise a peaceful process in other areas of the country, we are hoping the same shall apply even in the ODM stronghold zones, so that we don't lose lives in the process of electioneering. So what has happened in Migori and Homa Bay, we want to condemn in the strongest terms possible, that lives must not be lost because of a process of election. So the question is directed to you about
on the issue of Taita Taveta, we had been investigating as a board as to whether there was actually no elections held in the four polling stations. But we did since establish that actually we have MCAs with certificates showing that those wards actually had undergone an exercise, and they were actually awarded with certificates having won those particular seats. So that is why we cannot go and reopen, because already elections had been conducted. And yes, then it means that Mwadegu is the person who won that particular, as announced that day by our returning officer. And then I had also forgotten to include that there are 2 wards in Turkana that also have a repeat, and then there is Uasin Gishu and Makueni counties that had not also done their repeat. They had not done their elections. They were supposed to have been done by tomorrow, but we have since decided that they are going to be done on Friday.
Maybe could I just add 2 points? One is for the Nairobi nominations. We would like to just to emphasize what the chair of NAB has said, and Governor Joe has said, that we expect a peaceful process, and anybody who is involved in violence, action by NAB will be taken, and such a person will be disqualified immediately. The second thing is we would like to appeal that even on Sunday, when we go out to vote for our candidates, let's do it in a very, very peaceful manner, in a very, very orderly manner. The process will be free, will be fair, will be transparent, and will be credible. And what probably voters need to do is, once you've voted, stay around, wait until votes are counted, until you see that the person you're voting for has either won or lost, so that you're satisfied with the process.
Maybe last question. Several aspects already this morning have been raising concern that the finances to run their campaign, and they are concerned that the postponement of the exercise has somehow shortened their finances. What does the party have to say about the concern of the aspirants in the party? And then there's also the issue of the nominations in Garissa. Well, I don't know what you mean by postponement, but what we want to ensure is that the choices of the people are respected. And therefore, we will do whatever it takes to have a credible process in the nominations. And the board had earlier announced that in areas where it is seen that the process has been flawed in one or another, we shall call for a repeat. The aspirants were aware that when there's malpractice and it can be proved, where the decision can be changed by the hierarchy of the party, that shall be done, and where it is necessary that we hold a repeat, of course that had been agreed upon. So there's nothing new in this process. And by the way, it's not only us. In fact, the other parties have done a lot more repeats than we do. Postponement, they have done far much worse. So for us, we have done fairly well. Paka sasa tumefanya kazi mzuri sana. And even if you compare what we did in 2013 and now, there is tremendous progress. There's tremendous progress. And that is where we're headed. Pole pole turekebishe njia paka mwishowe we perfect it, so that we have nomination moja ambaye will of course get a good candidate. You must remember, this process is to be able to listen to the voices of the people. The party must allow that opportunity So where we feel there is ukora, of course the National Election Board has the right to make their recommendations, but then get approved by the management committee, and that's where we are.
We've been listening to a presser coming from Serena, where ODM has been, addressing issues that have faced the party, and as far as primaries are concerned, we're going to be recapping after the break. Stay with us.